Mr. Kotak, thank you so much for speaking with the CSR Journal. Could you tell me your first thoughts about the budget?
I personally feel that budget is very positive, well structured, well conceived, and it touches many points. On the social responsibility side, I think it has many measures. The social responsibility side on the rural, it has quite transformational points in that. Apart from that, the kind of indirect and direct corporate responsibilities which has been put. I am using word direct and indirect.
Okay.
It will generate a kind of a reformist ambience. The reformist ambience can come through various kind of, say for example, cleanliness. Apparently it may look a small thing, but it has a very great value, and it's a great social matter of a critical importance. Now education, and relook at the education with UGC change, the kind of structural change, the kind of the different disease combat which he has mentioned, the wellness centers, a number of opportunities. Of course, CSR has been defined with the legal permission or legal scope.
Correct.
But in operation, the scope has to be feasible.
Okay.
And scope has to be operable. And I always believe that economics is not a science of money. It is also a social science.
Correct.
First is a social science because it will improve the economics of people. Both the things will be reinforcing. The social side affecting the economical side, economical side affecting social side.
Absolutely.
So both will gain the ground. So this will be the achievement, a CSR of direct and indirect kind.
There hasn't been much relief for the corporates in terms of the announcements that were made in the budget. And of course, the mandate is also there in place. How do you see that rolling out in this coming financial year?
Well, that will be, of course, apparently it looks a sacrifice or sacrifice of revenue. But the budgetary principles say, the older principles of budget also essentially says that budget has to be minimax.
Okay.
Minimum taxation and maximum return. So unless you are able to catch the base, you cannot maximize. So budget has kept the fundamental principle, maximize the base, by that process maximize the revenue, but minimize the obstruction, minimize the impact on each individual. So the whole structure becomes very vibrant, rational, and self reinforcing each other, autonomous.
Okay. He also mentioned and put a lot of emphasis on rural development and Mahila banks, bringing women empowerment more to the forefront. What are your thoughts about the same?
See, this is a very good step for gender equity. And gender equity has to be there. The times have changed. And one thing is sure, that women empowerment is a index of progress of country. Even in our original scripts and all that you read, there was a good amount of women empowerment. It was in the Mughal time, and it was in the medieval times that the women empowerment went down, and the whole thing was at a sufferance. Now again there is a resurgence, and I think this is a good augury, and we should be helpful to all this kind of things.
So, what do you think about the money which should trickle down to the last level, because the government has of course come up with a lot of schemes, infused more money into it. He's given relief also to the middle class, and there's of course the NGOs and the foundations that are involved. How do you think from the economic perspective to reach a social perspective for the grassroots, the last mile?
Yes. I personally feel that way has been paved. System is under creation. Still impetus is necessary because it requires number of step and consequential step, sequential step, as well as supportive step horizontally also to keep up the system going, to keep up the progress going.
What is CSR to you?
CSR is very important. I think it is a lifeline for any corporation or anything. As a matter of fact, in old times, I don't know whether you youngsters know, all our businesses, we had to compulsorily provide for CSR activities.
Okay, in terms of philanthropy.
No, in terms of, it was a part of our pro forma of expenses. So any expense or any business we do, we have to write that. Okay. And that system is prevalent with Indian mercantile system age over, and I have worked through that system, but people do not know. The old type of accounts, long accounts they write, but there was a provision.
He also said that the cash funds to be given to political parties have been reduced to 2,000. The BMC elections are going to be coming very soon in the city also. What are your thoughts about the same in terms of the candidate who should come forward, which party, about the work that has to be done?
Well, I feel that people who are committed to social work, people who are committed for welfare, missionary work, not the politically strong, but work-wise strong in the missionary work, social work, or some kind of upliftment of people. They should be given a priority under the very norms, and even the parties must promote those kinds of people.
Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us.